Leave a social gathering utterly drained despite trying your best to impress everyone? That exhaustion is a silent energy thief, eroding your authentic self and blocking genuine connections. Today, we strategically dismantle this habit. Imagine spending hours meticulously curating your image, carefully choosing every word and performing for approval in every interaction. You nod, you laugh, you tell the perfect story, all to ensure everyone likes you, respects you, or is impressed by you. But then you get home, and instead of feeling satisfied, you feel utterly empty, exhausted, and perhaps even a little resentful. If this resonates, you are not alone. This pervasive habit of constantly trying to impress others is a silent energy thief, subtly eroding your authentic self and preventing the genuine, deep connections you truly crave. This is not about becoming aloof, uncaring, or socially disengaged. Quite the opposite. This is about reclaiming your precious energy, cultivating a profound sense of self-worth that does not depend on external applause, and building relationships that are truly meaningful. We are going to guide you through a strategic Impress Me detox, a deliberate process designed to unlock genuine respect, deeper connections, and unshakable personal power. We will explore why the mainstream belief that you must constantly strive to impress others is not just flawed, but actively detrimental to your well-being and your ability to form authentic bonds. Then, we will reveal how a strategic shift, a conscious subtraction of this need to perform, can fundamentally transform your social and personal landscape. Prepare to discover a more authentic, powerful version of yourself. A version that commands respect, not through frantic performance, but through grounded, genuine presence. This journey will empower you to strategically subtract the need to impress, leading to a life rich with true connections and internal strength. Let us begin this strategic transformation. The hidden exhaustion and futility of constantly trying to impress others is a problem many face, often without fully recognizing its profound toll. You might find yourself meticulously curating your image, carefully choosing your words, or constantly seeking approval in every interaction. This is the performance trap, a cycle where your energy is perpetually invested in meeting perceived external expectations. The mainstream belief tells us that to gain acceptance, love, or success, you must constantly strive to impress others, present a perfect image, or conform to their expectations. This belief is deeply ingrained in our society. From childhood, we are often taught to be good, make a good impression, or stand out in ways that prioritize external validation. We see it reinforced in media, in social dynamics, and even in professional advice. The idea is that if you are impressive enough, you will be loved, respected, and successful. However, this mainstream belief is incomplete and in many ways actively harmful. Constantly performing for others leads to profound exhaustion. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with expectations, anxieties, and the relentless need to be on all the time. That is the weight of constantly trying to impress. It drains your mental, emotional, and even physical resources. You might experience decision fatigue, social anxiety, or a persistent feeling of being misunderstood. This performance also creates inauthentic relationships. When you present a curated version of yourself, people connect with that version, not with your true self. These connections, while perhaps numerous, often feel superficial and unfulfilling. They lack the depth, trust, and genuine understanding that comes from authentic interaction. Furthermore, this perpetual search for external validation erodes self-worth. Your sense of value becomes tied to how others perceive you, making you vulnerable to their opinions and moods. This external dependency prevents the development of true internal power and self-respect. Research in social psychology highlights the importance of authenticity for well-being. Studies suggest that individuals who live in alignment with their true selves experience greater life satisfaction and psychological health. Conversely, the constant pursuit of external validation has been linked to lower self-esteem and increased anxiety. The mainstream approach, therefore, traps you in a cycle of seeking approval, never truly feeling enough, and always chasing the next impressive moment. It prevents true respect, because genuine respect is earned by who you are, not by who you pretend to be. It hinders true connection because vulnerability and authenticity are the bedrock of deep bonds. And it saps your personal power because your energy is directed outward rather than inward, where true strength resides. This is why a strategic shift is not just beneficial, it is essential for your well-being and your ability to cultivate a life of genuine power and respect. We are not advocating for apathy or rudeness. We are advocating for strategic self-preservation and the cultivation of authentic presence. The contrarian thesis we are proving today is this: strategically subtracting the need to impress and embracing your authentic self is the most direct path to genuine respect, deep connections, and unshakable personal power. To impress is an energy drain that leads to superficiality and anxiety. This is a strategic impress me detox, a deliberate process of identifying and eliminating the behaviors that drain your energy and obscure your true self. The first step in this detox is to identify your triggers and the audience you are performing for. This is a crucial diagnostic phase. Think of it as mapping the terrain of your performance habits. What specific situations or types of people make you feel compelled to turn on your impressive persona? Is it a new social group, a professional networking event, family gatherings, or perhaps even certain online interactions? For example, you might notice that whenever you are around a particularly successful friend, you start subtly boasting about your achievements. Or when meeting new people, you immediately launch into a rehearsed elevator pitch about your life. These are your triggers. The audience you are performing for can be real or imagined. It might be a specific person whose approval you crave, or a generalized idea of what people expect from you. Sometimes the audience is an internalized critic, a voice in your head that demands perfection. Identifying these triggers and audiences is the first strategic move. It brings unconscious behaviors into conscious awareness, allowing you to intervene. A conceptual diagram here might illustrate the performance loop, showing triggers leading to performance, leading to temporary external validation, leading to exhaustion, and then back to seeking more validation. In contrast, we aim for the authenticity cycle, where triggers lead to awareness, leading to authentic response, leading to genuine connection, and then to internal power. To identify your triggers, practice mindful self-observation. For 1 week, pay close attention to moments when you feel the urge to impress. Happened just before? Who was present? What thoughts or feelings arose? Journaling can be incredibly effective here. Simply note down the situation, your feelings, your actions, and the perceived outcome. You might discover patterns. For instance, you always try to impress when you feel insecure about your career, or when you are around people who remind you of past critics. Understanding these patterns is like finding the weak points in the performance armor you have been wearing. It is the first step in strategically disarming the need to impress. This awareness alone begins to shift your power dynamic. You are no longer a passive participant in your own performance. You become the strategic observer, ready to make intentional choices. The second step in our Impress Me detox is to practice vulnerability and embrace imperfection. This might sound counterintuitive if your goal has always been to appear flawless. However, social psychology research on vulnerability in relationship building consistently shows that it is a powerful catalyst for genuine connection. Vulnerability is not about oversharing every insecurity or weakness. It is about strategically allowing your authentic self to be seen, including your imperfections. It is about dropping the mask, even slightly, and trusting that genuine connection comes from shared humanity, not from a perfectly polished facade. Imagine a conceptual diagram titled Vulnerability as a Bridge, showing two people on opposite sides of a chasm, unable to connect until one extends a bridge of authentic self-disclosure. This bridge allows for true connection. When you are vulnerable, you signal to others that it is safe for them to be vulnerable too. This creates a space for deeper, more meaningful interactions. For example, instead of pretending to know everything in a conversation, you might admit, "That is an interesting point. I had not considered it from that angle. I am still learning about that topic." Or, if you make a small mistake, instead of trying to cover it up, you might say, "Oops, I messed that up, my apologies." These small acts of authentic self-expression are powerful. They demonstrate confidence in your own worth, independent of perfection. They show that you are human, relatable, and trustworthy. Studies on the impact of external validation on self-esteem suggest that the constant need for approval makes us fear imperfection. Embracing it is a direct counter-strategy. It builds resilience and internal validation. Start small. Practice strategic vulnerability with people you trust. Share a minor struggle, admit a small uncertainty, or express a genuine emotion that you might normally suppress. Observe how people respond. You will often find that their respect for you deepens rather than diminishes. This step is about retraining your brain to understand that authenticity, not perfection, is the true magnet for respect and connection. It is a strategic move to dismantle the fear of judgment and build a foundation of genuine self-acceptance. The third and final step in the Impress Me detox is to shift your focus from external validation to internal self-acceptance. This is the ultimate goal of our strategic subtraction, to cultivate an unshakable sense of self-worth that originates from within. External validation is like a drug. You get a temporary high from approval, but you quickly need another dose. It is an unstable foundation for your self-esteem. Internal self-acceptance, on the other hand, is like building a solid, unshakable fortress within yourself. It is a sustainable source of confidence and peace. A conceptual diagram here could be the internal validation reservoir, illustrating how external validation is like a leaky bucket, constantly needing refills, while internal self-acceptance is a self-replenishing well. To achieve this shift, you must consciously redirect your attention. Instead of asking, "What do they think of me?" ask, "What do I think of myself?" Instead of seeking praise, focus on your own progress and values. This involves several actionable practices. First, cultivate self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it, learn from it, and move on, rather than dwelling in self-criticism. Second, identify and live by your core values. When your actions align with what truly matters to you, you experience a deep sense of integrity and self-respect, regardless of external opinions. Third, practice mindfulness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment. This helps you observe the urge for external validation without acting on it. Celebrate your small wins. Acknowledge your efforts and achievements, no matter how minor. This reinforces your internal sense of capability and worth. Studies on self-esteem consistently show that internal locus of control and self-acceptance are key indicators of psychological well-being. By strategically shifting your focus inward, you are not becoming selfish, you are becoming self-sufficient in your worth. This allows you to engage with the world from a place of strength and authenticity rather than neediness. You become a source of your own validation, which paradoxically makes you more attractive and respected by others. This strategic shift is the cornerstone of true personal power. Now, let us address some common countertheses, valid concerns that might arise when considering this Impress Me detox. Many people worry, if I do not try to impress, people will not notice me or give me opportunities. This is a legitimate fear, especially in competitive environments. However, there is a crucial distinction to be made between the habitual, energy-draining performance of constantly trying to impress for external validation and the strategic, authentic presentation of one's best self in specific, goal-oriented contexts. The detox targets the former, the relentless, anxious pursuit of approval. It does not advocate for apathy or a lack of effort. Instead, by cultivating internal confidence and authenticity, you become more genuinely compelling. When you are not preoccupied with impressing, your focus shifts to genuine contribution, clear communication, and authentic engagement. This presence, backed by unshakable self-worth, is far more noticeable and attractive than a forced performance. Think of it this way. A person who is genuinely confident in their skills and values will present themselves clearly and effectively, without the underlying anxiety of needing approval. This genuine confidence often opens more doors than frantic impressing. Another concern is, being authentic might mean showing weaknesses, which could be exploited or lead to rejection. This highlights the importance of strategic vulnerability. Authenticity does not mean reckless oversharing or exposing yourself to harm. It means being genuine within appropriate boundaries. True connection comes from shared humanity, including imperfections, but discernment is key. Choose when, where, and with whom you are vulnerable.
Social psychology research on vulnerability emphasizes that it builds trust when it is reciprocal and appropriate. It is not about self-sabotage. It is about building deeper bonds with those who are worthy of your trust. Rejecting someone for their authentic self is a sign that they are not the right connection for you, and that is a strategic insight, not a loss. Finally, the counter-thesis. Some situations, like job interviews, inherently require you to impress others. This is true. Certain contexts demand a degree of presentation and demonstrating your capabilities. However, the Impress Me detox actually enhances your ability to perform well in these situations. When you are free from the internal pressure of needing to impress, you can focus on effectively communicating your skills, experience, and value. Your confidence comes from your internal self-acceptance, not from desperate performance driven by external validation. It is about bringing your best authentic self to the table, rather than a manufactured one. These counter-theses are important to address because they represent real fears, but by understanding the strategic nuances of the Impress Me detox, you can navigate these concerns with confidence and clarity. The ultimate payoff for undertaking this strategic Impress Me detox is profound and transformative. You will cultivate unshakable self-worth, a deep internal knowing of your value that is not swayed by external opinions or circumstances. This is the foundation of true personal power.
When your worth comes from within, you are no longer dependent on others for your happiness or validation. You become emotionally secure and independent. You will attract genuine connections. By embracing your authentic self and practicing strategic vulnerability, you create space for relationships built on trust, understanding, and mutual respect. These connections are deeper, more fulfilling, and far less draining than those built on performance. You will find that people are drawn to your genuine presence, not your curated facade. This leads to a network of truly supportive connections. You will unlock true personal power. This power is not about dominance or manipulation. It is about the ability to live in alignment with your values, to set boundaries, and to make choices that serve your highest good. It is the power to be yourself, unapologetically and authentically. This strategic subtraction of the need to impress is not a passive act. It is an active, intentional choice to reclaim your energy, redefine your relationships, and rebuild your self-worth from the inside out. It is a strategic investment in your long-term well-being and influence. Imagine the freedom of entering any social situation, knowing that your worth is inherent, not earned through performance. Imagine the depth of connections you can forge when you allow your true self to shine. This is the promise of the Impress Me detox, a path to a more authentic, powerful, and respected you. Embrace this strategic journey. Your genuine self is waiting to be unleashed. Your true power is waiting to be claimed. And genuine respect is waiting to be earned, not by impressing, but by simply being you.